Start.
Hello, everyone. Okay, it's been a little while, so now I'm going to be doing the scored review for the Grandia HD Collection Grandia 2 game. Now, I'm doing each game separately since they're both fairly large games with a decent amount to cover. Now, this game was developed by Thickhead Games, and it was published by Gung Ho Entertainment. Now, originally it was done by Game Arts, and I want to say Design. Square Enix, I think, was the publisher back when the game first came out. I could be wrong, but the current version, the HD version, was done by Sickhead Games and Gung Ho Entertainment. Now, these are a collection of HD remastered games, which for the most part are faithfully done. So, outside of that, I'm going to go ahead and get into this scored review. Now, scored reviews I base on 5 different categories. It is story, graphics, music and sound effects, gameplay and mechanics, and the achievements. Now, for starters, the story. The story for this one isn't quite as lighthearted and go-getter energy slash adventure kind of thing. This is more of a grim tale of the fact that even light and good can falter against the greatest of evils, but come out on top in the end. Now, I'm not going to get too into it, but it's basically the story of our protagonist Ryudo here, who's a geohound, which is basically, as far as I can understand, a mercenary. You only briefly touch on it, like at the beginning of the game. Now, this saves towards the end. I'm not going to actually go into the final battle. There are some boss battles beforehand I might show right before, like when I get to the game mechanics and stuff like that. But outside of that, I'm not going to spoil the ending or anything. Now, story-wise, it starts off a little slow, but it picks up. It's not like the first one. The first one, to me, the story kind of like, you started off a little slow, and then it just like full steamed ahead, where you felt like you couldn't wait to get to the next part of the story. This one, it was kind of, well, you know, it's good, the gameplay is good, da 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 da, and then you start picking up on more of the, oh, what's going to happen next, a bit further into the game than the first one occurred. Now, for the graphics, I'm kind of mixed on the graphics. Granted, the 3D modeling and world building that they did for this game was spectacular, but I'll be honest, I kind of like the more animated look that the first one had. But all in all, both look great in their own rights. So the first one's graphic style was a bit more what I liked. Now, the CG and the animated style that they used in the first one I thought was better, but the all around, like the world map and like the actual in-game CG for this one I think looked a little better. What gets me though is like all the big spells in this game have like a whole CG showcase before the spell hits. And if I remember correctly, even on the, it may just be because I played the PlayStation version, but all the spells like look really blurry and kind of like out of place in like the game. But Um, this character's skill, what is it? Wings of Almar? Oh, Fallen Wings, has like an animated look instead of a CG look, and it looks great when you use it, but it is like really out of place in the battle. So all in all, the graphics, like for the time, they were really good. But for the time, like in today's standards, even the HD versions don't look as great as they could. Now for the music and sound effects, all around, I'm gonna say the sound effects were good, although they are, like the first game, dated for the time, or dated compared to the time. Now the music is where this game shines in the sound department. Almost all the songs are great, and there's even a few brought back, which, I mean, my favorite song from Grandia 1, which is like the Grand Adventure theme that popped up all the time, only pops up like twice in this game, and one of those times is during the ending, which really disappointed me. While a lot of the songs and background music is great, a lot of it fits into the place of where they were aiming to put it, and it works great. But the some of the like world, or not world map, like area map music just didn't make any sense for some of the areas. Like you'll be in these like really dangerous mountains, and you have this kind of casual strolling music, and it doesn't give you the sense of like you're surrounded by danger and stuff like that. But you know, overall speaking, the music is great and the sound effects are decently done. The gameplay and mechanics, now I think this is where they had the biggest improvement. The gameplay itself is almost I'd say almost identical. Now, the combat for moving around on the maps, I mean, it's actually, yeah, the camera controls and the movement around on the maps is about the same. In this one, it's more often than not a bit easier to see when you're moving around on the map when changing the directions. The first one was a bit more like cluttered on the screen, so like there's a lot of times that you'll turn the map and still can't see what the heck you're supposed to do. For the mechanics, I think this is where they got most of it right. As you can see here at the bottom right of the screen, you got special coins, magic coins, and gold. In the first one, you had to continuously use skills or magic to level them up to unlock new stuff. While I didn't mind that, it was a bit of a grind, and that might have turned a bunch of people off. In this one, as you fight battles, you earn skill coins and magic, or special coins and magic coins, and if you go down to the power up option, you can use those coins to level up your moves or level up your mana eggs, which is another thing. In the first one, you found a magic egg, you used it at a shop to purchase one spell of of the four elements: water, earth, fire, and wind, and then you level up the corresponding skill, and it would unlock more spells. In this one, you just go in here and, like, let's say you wanted to buy heal, you could buy up to 5 levels and max it out, and the eggs would, like, approximately every like 10 to 15 would unlock other skills and stuff, or other spells you could unlock with more coins. And you have skill books in this one, which give you passive abilities, which was a nice benefit in the game. So you can actually unlock, let me look at this, like the adventurer's skills had physical ones which require special coins, but like the mage based ones require magic coins to unlock. And it was interesting to be able to dabble with these because you could just pick and choose which ones you wanted on the character. There's no restrictions whatsoever, so like the whole skill book thing was great. Especially if you're into like min-maxing your characters. So all in all, they did a great job upgrading the game's mechanics and streamlining like the combat and things like that in the gameplay and controls and mechanics section. So I was actually really impressed with that. Now for the achievements, this disappoints me a little. Wow, a lot of the game's achievements are tied around like just basic game progression, like beat this boss, beat this boss, beat this boss, find this character, which was just going to be like a story trigger. There are some like finding all the like the belts or all the necklaces, and you can miss a few of them. And then you have a couple of other ones which are like do certain things in the game which you could miss if you did not know you could go back and do them. I believe one's like the arm wrestling game, and the other one something to do with the nut collecting game. And then the one thing that, I'll be honest, really had no reason to be in this achievement list was beat the game start to finish on hard. While granted, it can be challenging towards the end, this is one game that should not have had a difficulty achievement or a difficulty altogether. But it's in there. I have all the achievements for both games. I have all 2,000 achievement score on the Xbox version. In case you haven't noticed, which I'm sure most of you who have watched my videos have realized that I pretty much exclusively do the Xbox versions of games. I might go to other platforms and do them if I feel I really want to do that, but for the most part I'm going to stay on the Xbox ones. So, altogether, you know, the story was pretty good. The graphics have their pluses and their minuses compared to the first one. The music and sound effects are still great for the time. The gameplay and controls had a lot of improvements, while maybe not innovation, a whole lot of innovations. There are a few, and the achievements all around are decent, with a few questionable ones. So generally, I give a game 5 out of 10 for average instead of the industry standard of 7 or 8. And all around, I will give this game a 7. They improved a lot upon a lot in the game, but they didn't like improve everything all around. And there's a few things that the older game I think did better. So just like the first game, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Both games, if you're a JRPG player, I would say are like must plays, especially the first one, because that one had such a good story that was emotionally charged. Now, I will say that in the first game, I would say there's a handful more memorable characters, with a few that are less memorable. But all in all 5 playable characters in this one are memorable, which is about how many I would say were memorable in the first one. So you actually feel like you get to know these characters and you learn about their histories and stuff like that. So unlike these newer games where you like kind of learn a little bit about the characters and then poof, it's all about the current story that's going on rather than what's happened. So 7 out of 10. And as with all things gaming, game logic, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one.